Welcome to the Trades Podcast, a podcast about the business of home improvement and promoting the trades to young adults.
Yes, a beautiful, beautiful day. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Trades Podcast. I am Danny.
And I'm Jeff.
We're super excited. We got a amazing guest, one of our awesome special sponsors that we have of the Trades Podcast. We have Berger Hardware Incorporated in the building, but we have a very special face of Kathy Denton in the house. Kathy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys this morning?
Fantastic.
Fresh, ready to go, ready to learn more about Berger, ready to learn more about the industry, and just just build up on everything that we've been able to just learn more about the company that you guys have, Berger Hardware, and everything that you guys do. So without further ado, we got a big audience out there that would love to know you, Kathy, a little bit more, because you are an official face of Berger Hardware.
Great.
Yeah. So go ahead, introduce yourself out to the podcast world and let them know a little bit more about Berger Hardware.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Kathy Denton. I work with Berger Hardware. I've been with the company for 32 years. Before that, I was a client of Berger Hardware. I worked for my dad's door shop, so I know kind of both sides of the counter, if you will. But I help clients when they come in the store with my specialty is door hardware. But I worked on the side of doors and trim and moldings as well. So, but our main focus here is door hardware on the Berger Hardware side.
Amazing. And when you say the Berger Hardware side, you guys have a shop out there in the Encinitas area. We're super excited. Just one, you guys, can tackle on many projects along the side of Berger Hardware. Now, 32 years, you said you've been with Berger.
Yes.
Wow. 32. Now, that piece of being exposed out to working for your dad's door shop, is that what it is?
Yes.
And your dad sold doors to Berger Hardware, is that right?
Actually, he had a door shop in San Diego since 1972 and did track work and custom homes until about he had the company until about 1984. But we were basically clients of Berger Hardware. So when we would do a custom home, we ordered all of our door hardware from Berger Hardware. And I ran the hardware for the door shop. So I did a lot of ordering from Berger. I did a lot of picking up of the materials and consulting with Berger Hardware from the client side of the counter. So when my dad retired and, I needed to find another job, I came to work for Berger Hardware, which put me on the other side of the counter.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting way to come into a company and then being here for such a long time. The owners of Berger Hardware, being Cheryl's husband Craig and his brother Stuart and their parents, they're like family to me because we've known each other since we were all kids, just about. So it's made it a very interesting way to come in and work for a company. It's like working for family.
We want to thank our sponsor. Superior Flooring Cabinet Designs is one of the landmark family-owned businesses in Encinitas. Owner Cheryl Robertson, with years of customer experience managing her family's hardware and cabinet business in North Park. Cheryl Robertson and the Superior team dive deep to learn about your project and help you find the perfect solution for your flooring and cabinetry needs. Call today at 760-436-0900 or visit www.superiorfloors.com.
And a very interesting way to come in and work for a company. It's like working for family.
So when you first started, were you over in the North Park location?
Of course, yes. North Park, such an interesting building, and I do sometimes miss it, even though that area has become very congested with parking and everything. It was making it very difficult for us to work there, and for clients to get in and out, picking up orders from Berger Hardware. But yes, until 2023, I worked, yes, there in the North Park location. And we dealt with a lot of contractors there, some homeowners and custom home clients. But I feel like we mainly worked with contractors more there. Um, we still work with contractors up here, but not quite as many. We have a lot more designers and private clients coming in up here in Encinitas.
Okay. A little different market for you.
A little different market.
Yeah. But I'm sure, I believe a lot of contractors have followed you to Encinitas location. You ship wherever they need their projects at, though.
Definitely. A lot of the clients, when they first heard that we were moving up here, the contractors were upset because we were kind of centrally located. And so it has been integral in moving up here to make sure that we keep. So we will ship. We have actually even delivered orders when there's a need. And it actually has worked out quite well for contractors that were used to us being down there. At first, they were, a little frustrated that we were going to be so far away. But they figured out that, hey, we can still do everything we did when we were down in North Park, and we could still get materials to you. We're here for you. We email, we deliver, we ship, we drop ship, whatever it takes. And they've found that it hasn't really been an issue.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's huge. The difference between transitioning over to a new location, I can imagine through business be a little difficult. One, the communication side, the feedback that you might get, like, oh, whoa, where am I going to go now? What can I do? Um, and that transition, I can imagine will, maybe deter a few business owners or, like you said, the contractors that you're working with to follow you. But it's been many years, and that the business has still been around and grown, and now it's in Encinitas. Tell us a little bit more about the Encinitas location.
Well, I will just go back for 1 second and say that on the people that have hauled us up here to Encinitas, it has been because we have such a relationship, a long-standing relationship. And when you build those kind of relationships, you find, you know, the best ways to work together. And we have brought that with us up here. And so that has been really integral to moving into the new location. Um, the new location up here is beautiful. It is, of course, the building and the space is smaller, but we have, through innovation and great ideas through with Dorothy Robertson, um, designing the showroom and using every inch of space to display as many things as we can. It has turned out really, really nice. The first thing that a lot of clients and contractors say when they walk in is they're overwhelmed by the choices. Um, and the space is really very nice up here. We have a beautiful office, and the showroom is gorgeous. Um, so many choices that it does make it really hard to make a decision. Um, and then just that Encinitas is a beautiful place to come to. Um, but what's really special is that we are in the same building with Cheryl Robertson also has Superior Floors on the other side of the building, and it makes it a one-stop shop. You can come in and you can shop at Superior Floors for wood flooring, carpeting. They have sinks and countertops, and tile. And then you can walk right over into Berger Hardware and continue shopping for your kitchen project. Say you need cabinet hardware, door hardware, hinges, all of that stuff. And it's made it, I think, very convenient for contractors, designers, and our private clients.
It's really cool to see a customer walk in for something and their eyes light up um, about all the selections. And then they see, oh, I can go next door and how does this look on the cabinets? And then see the different colors and styles of the cabinets too, on how it's going to all come together, in their home.
Definitely having the cabinet designer and the display at Superior Floors is really convenient. Um, and that happens quite often where you'll go over to the display in Superior Floors and bring it over to Berger Hardware, and we've got all kinds of samples, laying them out, and clients will bring in backsplash and a piece of the countertop and a piece of the flooring, and we've got a table in the back where we can lay everything out and collaborate on a project. And it does make it really, really convenient to have a meeting not only for the private client with the designer, but a consultation with one of us here, whether it's me or my coworker, Mateo, um, or sometimes Gerald. And then we also have Matt. Um, and collaborating with clients and having that space and having all those pieces that are going into a space to bring together their vision uh, makes it really, really easy for the client.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen it happen many times since, people are really appreciative of the customer service they get there from what I've seen. Mhm.
We do really strive to listen to the client carefully and to bring their vision, forward into the project. That's probably one of the most challenging things is just listening. You've got to really listen to what the client is trying to make happen in their space. And that's one of the things that all of us here really try to work hard at is to take the time, to just try to bring their vision to us so we can help them put those products together to make it happen.
Mhm. Yeah, and you had mentioned it earlier where the relationship part of one clients and then your contractors. That's something that really seems like one you take really to heart, and you take that's something that you want to make sure it's nourished and and that you have control over that, that relationship part of your contractors and when clients walk in and being able to utilize both sides of your superior floors, but now they can move over into the Berger Hardware. And that relationship piece seems like it's really what has kept you there for many years at Berger.
Definitely. The relationships that I've built with the clients, you know, I've known some of the people in these trades from when I worked for my dad's door shop to when I came in to work for Berger Hardware. I mean, it's been just about all of my life. Some of these relationships have been built over the years. And bringing it into Berger Hardware and then growing my knowledge. I mean, being in this industry, I know Jeff knows this too very much, that you learn something new every day, and working on a team and feeling like you're part of a family and that you're building something that is, continuing to grow over 100 years old. It really means something to you, so um, other jobs that I've had over the years, have been special, but working for a company where you feel like when you come in, like, everyone, you're related. And I spend more time with the people I work with here than I do with my own family. And we've built a really great relationship among all of us. So that's what really makes it very special. And always having each other's back and collaborating and thinking outside of the box together to, come together with whatever comes in the door. I mean, some of the clients bring in some really challenging projects. So we work together, and that, I guess, is probably one of the main things that has kept me here all these years.
Hmm. And I imagine all that comes with a lot of memories, the good, the bad, the ugly. What's some of your what's some of your earliest say memories or moments that you remember working with Berger?
I guess probably watching, some of when we were in North Park, we had a lot of track business going, contractors bringing in trucks and picking up an order with a truck that was too small, but they wanted to get it all on that truck anyway. And being uniquely loading and making space and trying to make it safe and tie it down correctly. And basically a truck sitting with the hood maybe 3 inches too high to get all that hardware out to the job site. Those are some of the early memories. Um, it was challenging when the city, we had, we worked off the back of the store, so we had an alley in the back. When the city came to redo that alleyway, it made it really difficult for us because we had to load out through the front of the store, which was 30th Street, very busy, 2 lanes, no parking, no loading dock, no way to get a forklift out there. So that was another challenging time. Um, but we all worked together and we were able to make it happen, even if it was a little harder. But those are some early memories. And then just sharing, I guess, really something really special is Cheryl and her husband Craig, when they welcomed their first daughter, second daughter, and then third daughter. Um, into the world. We had an old scale that we used to weigh nails on years ago. Um, but they would bring the babies in and weigh the babies. And then we had a special place on the wall in the hallway of the store where they would keep track, of how much they weighed and the date. And that was there for many, 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 many years. And it was very special watching the 3 girls grow up. I've known them since they were little tiny babies, and now they're all grown up adults. So that's also a very special memory. And watching Craig and Stuart, their parents who ran the store before them, watching them retire, after all their hard years of work and running the business. So it really has been a family affair.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, that family has definitely resonated to what it is to right now. And, from what I've seen personally, I know Jeff has known you and the company and everybody a lot longer. And he's definitely told me many stories about, just, how great it has been, just the transitioning again from location to location. And, from employees to employees, but, we still have Kathy, and Kathy's still there with us. That's awesome. It's a perfect thing to see everything come to fruition, from family being incorporated into the daughters and, being able to work with Dorothy. That's been an amazing thing too, as well.
Yeah, fifth generation, still working for the company, even though she's working remotely now. She recently married and moved to New Zealand for um, a time, and we're hoping she comes back, but she's working remotely for us, and we can still communicate and keep in touch. It's we miss her here though. We miss seeing her here, physically here in the store. She brought a lot of creativity to the business. which she still does, but it's not like having her here every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she did bring a nice vibe, dynamics to the business. That's for sure.
And she did a beautiful
Well,
job putting all of the displays together and designing the showroom, which was a lot of work. I hope in my lifetime I never move an 100-year-old hardware store ever again.
I'm sure there was things found that nobody ever knew that they were in that corner somewhere.
Oh, are you kidding? My goodness. Yeah, there were so many things that had to be cleared out and packed, and hardware is so heavy.
Oh yeah.
But many hands make light work. So pulling together like we always do, um, we got it done. And moving up here was it was hard, but I think it was a lot easier than it, because there all of us pitched in, and we even had neighbors that had lived behind the old store and the apartments there that came over, and we hired them on to help us. And it made it all the difference getting it done. But we somehow got it all here into the smaller location and organized. And I think we're set up better than we ever have been.
Yeah.
So
No, and just to hear the fact that Dorothy was the one that designed the showroom. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I've been in there a handful of times now, and now that I know that she does, like, I mean, that's a really great job. I would have thought maybe someone from, like interior designer would have came in, and practically everybody that works there acts as an interior designer, in the sense. But just to see it now and really vision it, it's like, wow, that's a huge effort to be made, and it looks great. So that's great. Hmm.
yeah, hats off to Dorothy. Yeah,
Hmm.
she was an integral part of that.
Yeah. So if anybody hasn't is listening and hasn't been over there to the showroom, obviously you have to go check it out. You have to.
yeah.
Definitely.
So one of the questions I've really been itching to ask you, Kathy, is you deal with a lot of different types of clients. How do you like help coach or walk a homeowner through a project as opposed to like a seasoned contractor that thinks they, you know exactly what they want. They're just needing, updated uh, devices or hardware.
Well, when I have a client walk in without a contractor or a designer, um, the first thing that happens is they get a little overwhelmed because they see all of the choices. Um, but where we really have to start is by listening to, what is your vision? What are we working on? Is it a kitchen? Is it a bathroom? Is it the whole house? Um, do you need flooring? Do you need cabinets? Do you need hardware? The whole package? So we can kind of get an idea of where to start. Um, and then as we get into the specifics of, this is a kitchen remodel or this is a bathroom remodel, um, we start asking questions. Um, there are so many things that you need to know before it's so easy to tear everything out and demo, um, but without any forethought before you do all of that, you can run into issues with trying to put it all back together. So there are a lot of questions. If we're working with, say, an existing entry door that we want to replace door hardware on, um, we need to know how thick the door is. We need to know what kind of hardware is on it, how long it's been there. Um, a good way to uh, answer a lot of those questions. It's very helpful if the client brings pictures, of the exterior of the door hardware, the edge of the door hardware. the interior of the door hardware. Um, and then we ask for measurements as far as door thickness and the back set, which is measuring from the edge of the door to the center line of the hardware. We need to know if the door is stained, because if it is stained and we're removing old hardware, there may be lighter wood underneath the old hardware or a mark left from the old hardware on the door. Are we refinishing the door? If the door's painted, that makes it a little easier because we can, touch up and sand and repaint. Um, but there's a lot of questions that we have to start with so that then we can, once we answer some of those questions, start looking at choices. And the choices are almost endless. I mean, for a front door hardware, for example, my three big players for door hardware are MPEC, Baldwin, Ashley Norton. Um, and there's just a lot of choices between uh, what we call tubular cylindrical style entry handle sets for your front door versus a mortise entry handle set. And then, there's more that we can build on from there. So for clients that walk in, it's almost overwhelming with, gosh, I never knew I needed to know all of these things to put together an idea. Can't I just come in and point and say, I want that handle set in that color? But it's not always that simple because of all the intricacies that come into it as far as door thickness, door prep, and what you have existing
Mhm.
to work with. Whereas the contractor will come in and he'll already know what he's got most of the time. Um, and then we can start from a step ahead by knowing those measurements and what's existing. But then we, again, step three, getting into all of the choices. So,
Yeah, definitely. Finish, making it match other types of um, things in the house or the exterior you want it to match or complement it. That can be a challenge in itself right there.
it can be, but something that's changed in the industry over the years. People used to want everything to match, to be, all the door locks to be the same, everything to match. But I think what's really interesting is the changes I've seen with making an entryway unique to a home. When you think of a custom home, not everything is the same. So making your entry like a grand entrance to the home, making it different or unique, then maybe following through on the interior doors with a selection of hardware that, is more similar and matches. Um, but people mixing finishes in hardware and doing, say, one finish on the exterior of an entry door or their exterior lock sets to maybe match if they've got maybe custom iron railings on the front of the house or light fixtures. And then on the inside of the door, doing a different color, different finish to match all the interior hardware. Um, so just all those choices again, things changing to where not everything has to match. Things can be unique and different, and still you can put it together to accentuate a project.
So one of the things I'm hearing is as a customer comes in, you're not just handing them a box and saying, here you go. You have to take some time to really learn what their goals are, um, and come up with a solution for them, working together, spending the time to give some really good customer service to meet their goals is what I'm hearing. This is not just pulling a box off the shelf and say, hey, go give this a try.
Definitely the ability to problem solve and the patience to listen carefully and trying to think outside of the box. If someone's got some really old hardware and they want to keep the door. They don't want to replace the door. Trying to come up with a hardware solution, you know, to help them maybe stay within the budget, but, still get that vision, of something new and more modern on an existing door. So it can take some time. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy is trying to figure it all out, putting all those pieces of the puzzle together so we know what the options are. Sometimes there are multiple options, sometimes there's only a couple, but we will figure them out together and hopefully, find a solution.
Yeah, and that solution comes with, one, your experience, two, the products that you carry, and three, the vision, I would imagine, from the client. All those get mashed up together, and it may not come in that order specifically because, you may have to answer a lot of questions before getting to some real answers or solutions of what they might fit. And it's funny that you mentioned earlier about the a lot of new trends in the way of how not everything needs to be matching. Where I go into homes of families for work, and you might see a different theme in each room, where you might have a different color, different texture of the wall, and then like you even mentioned, even as far as the hardware. Are there any particular like brands or products uh, that kind of fit what matches are really ones that I would say that you're more passionate about, or ones that you like recommending more, that kind of help clients move in that direction, that have like a variety?
Well, it's interesting because the manufacturers have come so far. Uh, they're all competing to have all the choices that everyone else has, right? I find it that it's each brand has something unique to offer. Um, so I use that to my advantage, so that you can pull from different, manufacturers to bring together what you need to get a project completed. Um, so I would say that each manufacturer has something really special to offer, um, whether it be MTech, whether it be Ashley Norton or Baldwin, um, the Schaub cabinet hardware, the Omnia cabinet hardware, Creations by Alno are some of the brands that they offer choices that can be traditional or very modern, and then some things that are also transitional between the two. And it's so important to be able to have all those tools to bring together to bring someone's vision alive in the space that they're trying to, create, uh, whether it be a bathroom or a kitchen remodel, or the whole house. So that's what I find so interesting is that we don't have to go to just one brand. We can bring them all together and mix them. But I really do like multiple finishes in the cabinet hardware and also now door hardware, which many of my manufacturers have come out with just recently, where you can mix two finishes on a front door handle set or an interior door knob or lever. So it gives you even more options to make something special and unique for your home.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, one, um, being in the showroom, like you said, it could feel overwhelming, but just hearing you say that would make me feel a lot more comfortable and being able to make choices. If it made me feel, knowing that if I'm consulting with you, Berger Hardware, we'll have a sense of direction once we kind of get down and answer a few questions that kind of help out. What is that say first interaction like? I know, like you said, it's one that can feel overwhelming, but what's that next step? What is it that you, or particularly Berger Hardware, kind of falls into to make sure that that client can kind of move forward, and that you can help them out with their decisions?
Well, I think trying to set a client at ease and let them know that we're here to help them, that we're not just here to sell them the first thing that we want to sell them because we like selling one product over another, that we really care about what their vision is, what they want, but setting them at ease and letting them know that we're here to help them. Um, I think that is probably the most important thing of all, because people feel overwhelmed because, you know, most people don't install door hardware every day. They're not familiar with it and they get a little overwhelmed. Why do I need to know all these things? Can't I just buy something, like Jeff said, off the shelf? Um, but setting them at ease and letting them know that no matter what, we're going to be here. We've been here for over 100 years. We're not going anywhere. And if you have any issues, you have any problems, we're still right here. You can call us. We can help you. I many times I've helped clients over the phone with trying to take hardware off of a door or put hardware onto a door or even taking measurements. And that's one of the things that has really been nice since we've been up here in Encinitas, that we started offering a service where we can go out and Mateo can make an appointment to come out and walk with you through your house, to take down the notes that we need to help you get that all that hardware, quantities, handing, door thicknesses, checking to see what kind of strike plates you have, whether they're T-strikes or full lip strikes, are they square corner, are they round corner, what kind of hinges do you have? Just making sure that people know that we are offering that service, and our expertise and our knowledge, and that we're there for them. And we're not going to let them down. We're going to get them through it. And at the end, our goal is to have them be happy and get what they need and for everything to be functioning.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen that difference of one technology, one the teamwork of the team being able to go out to the houses, but there's something that I think you may have mentioned before we pressed record, was how technology really has changed in the industry, or different products that you've seen through uh, through the manufacturers that you guys hold. You do you want to talk a little bit more about that industry piece, that the transitions that you've seen throughout the years?
So something that has become very popular in the past several years, um, we're finding that clients are really not wanting to carry keys anymore. Um, People are really interested in the electronic lock sets, whether it be the electronic deadbolt, um, the level bolt, or even mechanical lock sets where you just you either have a choice of having something that's smart where you can use your phone to control your lock set from anywhere, keep track of people going in and out, um, but not having to carry keys has become increasingly important to clients. Um, Something that we always want to explain to them, though, is that electronics, they're great when they work, but sometimes you can have issues. So we highly recommend a product that has a key bypass so that you still have the option of using a key, the old-fashioned key that we've always used, or using the keypad. Some of these items even have fingerprint access, so there are so many options in that field of electronics. But definitely knowing one, we want to provide convenience, but two, we also want to make sure that you have a good location for this type of a product to be used. Um, Electronic locks, they're kind of similar to our cell phones. They don't like to get wet. They don't like to get too hot. Um, so, batteries can wear out. So it's all stuff that we need to know, the location of the door and definitely the door thickness, because most of these items only fit up to a 2.25 inch thick door. Um, but once we figure out some of those options, we can help you look at seeing whether or not an electronic option is a good option, for the client. Um, but keeping in mind that, if it is the only way to get into the home, you definitely want to consider having something with a key bypass as well. So you have all the options at your hand. You're never locked out, you're never inconvenienced. Um, but that is one of the trends I see people to be very interested in, is, wanting to just control everything with your phone. No keys to lose, no keys to remember, no fumbling for your keys in the dark. They want to just be able to press some numbers and the door's open.
Yeah. They have safety features built into a lot of these new lock sets too. I was learning a little bit about. So if you're inside the house and you don't have your cell phone, there's an emergency, you need to get outside. There's like safety features that allow you to bypass electronics.
Definitely most locks have what we call an emergency egress function on the inside. Not all, but most, and especially these days, it's more and more where hardware is always made so that you can always exit no matter what. Um, so it makes it a lot safer for people in case of a fire or an intruder, um, so that you can always get out and not have to worry about trying to figure out how to unlock the door to be able to open the door, right? Um, so most of these locks are equipped with that. And it is definitely a good safety feature to have.
It sounds like there's a lot of new technology going into something that most people would have considered a very simple mechanical piece of hardware.
Definitely. And that's one of the things that when clients come in for the first time, just to mention that, we start discussing what kind of hardware do you have on your home. And it's funny how you could use something every day. And then when someone asks you, what kind of hardware do you have, or, how do you use it? And they really have to think about it because it's something that we just don't think about it. We just do it every day.
Yeah,
Um, it's just something that, you don't even think about.
absolutely. Yeah, some things you learn and become so repetitious that
Exactly.
memory muscle works, so you don't have to think about it.
Hmm. Yeah, that safety feature is always something that we've highlighted through the trades podcast of all industries of, what's the level of security that one for employees, but now this is for, the clients that you're selling this hardware to. And I'm sure that's always something that clicks like a light bulb in their head when you mention safety to them. They're like, oh, that was the last thing I was thinking of. I was just thinking about how good it looks.
Exactly. And those are all things that we try to bring to the forefront for people to just see, these are all things that are important to think about that we just don't think about on a daily basis.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, and there's different I can see that dive into a little bit further of the different features of security, and even handles versus knobs. How deep, you know, really what's that process like for someone if they're just remodeling a home to really make those decisions on what's the best for them? How long do you see that you work with a client on a day-to-day basis?
So going through the options and explaining, functions and differences in security, it can take, maybe an hour or more. depending on how many doors they have and what kind of products they're replacing. Um, understanding the difference, for example, on a keyed deadbolt, um, where we call it a single cylinder deadbolt with a key on the outside, and on the inside you have a thumb piece. And as opposed to what we call a double keyed deadbolt, which is keyed on the outside and keyed on the inside, which some people thinks that it adds extra security, but it also makes it harder for you to exit if there's an emergency. Um, the deadbolt, though, explaining to them that difference, and then that it's the most security that you have in a lock set because it throws a 1-inch bolt into the frame, and it comes with a strike that has a strike reinforcing plate that has 2.5-inch long screws that if your contractor installs it with the cover plate, strike plate that makes it look pretty, you get a lot of security out of that. If somebody tries to break that door in, they have to not only break the door, but they have to break the jamb and whatever framing, it's screwed into. As opposed to, say, a keyed knob or lever, which is a knob or lever with a key in it, but just a little 1/2-inch spring latch that latches into a strike on the jamb. That doesn't really add a lot of extra security. Um, but having that deadbolt locked does. So that's probably one of the first things that we like to go over because it's so common on a garage to house door. That's the most used door in the home, usually. Um, that
Not the
knob,
bathroom door.
right? That knob or lever gets a ton of use. So we usually recommend they're doing what we call a passage type knob or lever on that garage to house door, because you can always, open it. It's not ever going to let you get locked out. It's always open. And then for security, using your deadbolt, um, just for ease of use. Many times people tell me, even though they have a lock on that door, they don't even lock it because they use it so often. They're so much in and out. And they've got other doors on the garage that are already locked. But it's nice to have that extra security, especially when you're going on a vacation or when you're going to sleep. Um, so your deadbolt really is the most security that you will get. And then from there, deciding on whether to use knobs or levers. Um, Ease of function, most people find that levers are easier to open because you're just pushing down on it to open the latch. Whereas with a knob, you actually have to grasp it and then turn your wrist to retract the latch. These are things to think about, whether or not you have issues with your hands. um, I know some of my clients that are getting up in age, they find that levers are easier. And then again, where we have commercial spaces, levers, are always the go-to, because people with disabilities, it makes it easier for them to use a lever than a knob. So those are some things that people will want to consider when making choices in design. Yes, we want it to look good, but we also want it to feel good and be easy to use.
Yeah, those are all key things to be considered. And I mean, it sounds like, again, I mean, with the years of experience and the team and the products that you guys have, it absolutely covers all those bases. And I'm just curious, is there a product or a service that Berger provides that many clients may not ask for or know of, or even for contractors, that you'd like to kind of point out and throw out there for everybody?
I think one of the services that is most helpful to contractors and private clients and designers as well, is the service where we come out and do a job walk to help someone with their project. I think that's probably the most helpful because when doing a whole remodel, so many times there are just so many different questions and pieces of information that need to be pulled together to even start to make a list of hardware, so that we can give you a price. And there's no surprises, at the end result. So I think that's probably the most um, great, service that we offer. And a lot of people don't know that we do it. Of course, we can't come out and look at just one lock, but um, pictures sometimes are really helpful. Having a lot of pictures of the hardware you want to replace, um, that can be very helpful to them when they come in so that we know a lot of times we can look at something and we can identify it. Um, but sometimes not. And so then that job walk service comes into play and is really helpful to clients.
Nice.
Absolutely. I was just thinking when you're talking about that, you just take a simple 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that's being remodeled. There could be a dozen doors inside that house.
Mhm.
2 bedrooms, the front door, the back door, couple closets, bathroom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And figuring out, how many bedrooms, bathrooms need what we call a locking privacy, that has an emergency option on the outside, um, to say a closet or a pantry that needs a non-locking, what we call passage function, to whether your coat closet needs what we call a fixed dummy lever set or knob set, where you wouldn't have a hole in the door, and maybe you have what they used to use was a bulb catch, which now has basically been replaced by something that's been out for a while, but it's still new to a lot of clients. It's a magnetic catch that is a lot quieter. So maybe your coat closet, you just push and pull the door open and closed instead of turning the hardware to open and close it. And then whether you have surface bolts, do you need hinges? What size are the hinges? Are they residential hinges or are they standard weight, thicker hinges? Um, do you want all your lock sets keyed alike? What kind of door stops do you need? Uh, do you need to change out your towel bars and paper holders, your bath accessories? Um, these are all things that come into play. Cabinet hardware. Have you already got holes drilled in your cabinets
Mhm.
for pulls? And if so, what are the center to center dimensions? Is it something that's common, or are we going to have to go hunting for something to make it work? Or maybe you have new cabinets and then your options are wide open. Do you want all cabinet pulls in your kitchen or do you want cabinet knobs and cabinet pulls? So lots of questions to be
Yeah.
answered.
Yeah, and that walkthrough, I mean, for anybody that's listening, I mean, that seems like it would eliminate a lot of those, questions asked, the back and forth for sure, I imagine, of clients that, whether they may not be local or just someone that's just not too sure where to start and they want to start over a phone call. That walkthrough will absolutely seems like it eliminate a lot of those back and forth questions that need to go forward and narrow down what decisions that will help them to the final decision.
Yeah. Well, and I forgot, and I didn't even think about this
Yeah.
options.
Oh, definitely trying to eliminate the headaches, for that client or that designer or even sometimes the contractor. He's got so many other aspects of the project going. He just needs the relief of someone knowing what to look for, how to, put together the list of what we need so that his client can come in and say, okay, this is what I have going on in my house. I just need to pick out a design, a color, and then we already know the quantities and we already know the door thicknesses, the back sets, what size hinges they need. It just so simplifies the process
That's
for
huge.
both contractor and client.
Yeah.
And it helps us too because we strive for excellence and we want to get it right.
hmm Yeah, that's a huge thing. So contractors, if you're listening to this, and Kathy, a lot of our contractors that do listen to this are I can absolutely understand that they would need and like someone like Berger and your team to come in and be that communication piece, specifically when it's that meticulous to a lot of that hardware pieces. Like you said, it's not easy. It's not easy to transport, but it's a lot of work to find out what that decision is going to be. So just knowing that Berger, you and the team are there to one be that piece of communication where it's relief of headache for both sides, the client and for the contractor, and for you, I imagine.
Definitely. And, something that clients and contractors sometimes don't realize is, you know, because there are so many choices in design and finish, um, most everything has to be ordered. A lot of the hardware, it's when we order it, it's made for you. It's put together for you and then it's shipped to us. So if we get something wrong or the contractor gets something wrong or the client gets something wrong, it throws a wrench into the project because then we have delays and returning hardware. There's almost always restocking fees, and then you're delayed a week or two to get the correct material. And, so trying to alleviate all of those issues and letting the client know so that they're not surprised by the fact that, because someone has had to pull all these pieces and put them together, there are restocking fees.
Mhm,
It's much more custom. The business is much more custom than it used to be.
mhm,
It's not like going to one of those other stores and pulling something off of a shelf, taking it out to the job site, trying to put it on a door, figuring out it won't work, and going back and then just putting it on a shelf. It's most of this stuff is made for you.
mhm.
So alleviating those issues in the beginning and trying to get all the information we need to give you what you need, what you really need. That's what we try to do here at Berger Hardware.
Absolutely. I mean, that was definitely a big thing that we may have probably should have asked earlier. What separates you? But you just said it. From those big box hardware stores, and that's this whole story that you've been able to give us. Not just story, just testimonials of what clients have experienced through Berger over the 100 years of service, and just dedicating yourselves to the community of San Diego and beyond. I imagine to provide the best quality service and products, hardware, um, and consultation. Really, even if people didn't move forward with you, I imagine that they have a memory of, what, I took some knowledge and some from Berger Hardware to know that this is what's going to help me make my decision. So Kathy, we're excited just to, one start. I think this is one start of the journey of learning more about Berger hardware industry and the products that you carry. And this is just a key piece. So, I mean, we really appreciate you coming on and, talking to us about Berger hardware.
Oh gosh, thank you guys for having me. I thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
It's great having you on. Definitely appreciated the deep dive into the professionalism and the knowledge of Berker Hardware and the great people that work there like yourself. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, and again, everybody, if you haven't gone to go check it out, go check out the awesome showroom that they have. Again, it's a buy showroom with flooring, the superior floor hardware and cabinets, and then also the great showroom that's been designed by Dorothy over in the burger space. So, Kathy, if you could let us know what's the best way to reach out to uh, to get in touch with Burger Hardware, and where are you guys located?
So we are at 579 Westlake Street in Encinitas. And we're here from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And we're here from 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Best way to reach out, you can email us at Berger Hardware, info@bergerhardwareinc.com. We also have a website, bergerhardware.com. Best thing to do is come and see us. Our crew here is here to welcome you, help you, answer your questions, and we'll definitely show you more options than you could ever imagine for hardware, cabinet hardware, flooring, cabinets. We've got a great crew here, so I hope you come see us.
Amazing. Thank you. And you're going to be met with that big smile of Kathy's right there.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day, you guys.